Alright, praise the Lord, Pastor Larry. I'm here to show you the drywall job that I'm about to complete. And I finished it, hung the drywall, finished the drywall, and I textured the drywall. Alright, I sprayed a light knockdown on it. Okay, and I'll show you how I did that here in a second. But looks wonderful, especially when they paint it. But I ran out of mud yesterday, so I have to finish this wall here. And so I use a hopper. This was a hopper you can buy for about $100, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. And I set my air pressure about 45. Not all hoppers have this adjustable, I don't know, but this one has an air adjuster. I can adjust my airflow on the hopper handle itself. So, and then I mix the mud. The mud, you want it to be pretty loose because it's got to flow through the hopper. And that's a little thicker than I normally spray it, but I want it to be able to run off of the paddle. That's how I mix it. So it runs off the paddle, just like flows off of it. That's a little thicker than normal, but I can deal with that. Let's see how it drips, but usually when I pick it up, it'll just kind of like flow off of it. So that's about how you want to make it. Mix it up so it just kind of runs loose off of the... I'm going to set the camera up and show you how I spray it. It's just a matter of keeping the pattern, keeping an even pattern. Now when you're doing this and it's wet, it's really hard to see. You almost go like snow blind. But you can do it. Just have to have an eye for it. My eyes are getting worse as I get older for some reason. It's part of aging. I want to be strong like Caleb in the Bible at 80 years old, but that's up to the Lord, I guess. I'm doing what I can to take care of myself. But here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for a second, and then I'll get it all set up and turn it back on, and you can watch me spray. All right, God bless. Alright, I added a little bit more water to my mud. See how that kind of drips off in there? That's what I want. Nice and soupy. That way it runs through the hopper without any problems. Then I'll adjust my camera here. Alright. So when you're working by yourself, it's nice to have something to hang the hopper on. Pour it in. Like that. And you go to town. keep the hopper moving. You can't stop in one place because it will build up. And then you'll have a mess. And then you just kind of look over your work to see if there's any light spots or what we call holidays where there's no clay. And then you just touch it up. And you just kind of want to keep the pattern even as you're spraying. Alright? And then you gotta let it dry. You gotta let it set up and dry a little bit. Because you can't pull it with this. I use this knockdown trowel right here, 20 bucks. All right, you use this knockdown trowel, and what you do is you just pull it across the drywall very lightly, but you got to let it set up, because if you pull it right after you spray it, it'll just all smear together. It won't even look like texture. It just looks like a bunch of mud smeared on the wall. So you have to let it set up and start to cure and get stiff, and then you pull it. Then you pull it. All right, there's a couple of light spots here. I have to hit that again. But it only takes about 10-15 minutes for it to get cured enough. Of course, it all depends on the humidity. The humidity and the airflow. But anyhow, and then you just, I'll show you here in a minute when I pull it, but I'm gonna spray this wall over here. There's this wall. A little fast. Again, just your air pressure has a lot to do with how fine the mist blows out on it. I might have had my pressure a little heavy, a little high. It was blowing out more smaller particles, smaller drywall drops. The slower you put it, the lower the pressure on your rig, the heavier it blows out, but it takes longer too, you know. So there's compromises either way. So anyhow, and then I'll just let this cure, and then I'll knock it down. And you'll see that here in a moment. Okay, when it comes to knocking down the texture, it's really just a preference. Now, you have to watch, because like I said, you can see the wall's not straight. There's whoops in the wall, okay? There's low spots. So you have to kind of watch to see how it's pulling across the texture, and you want to make sure that you're getting those low spots. You have to come at it at a different angle sometimes. Alright, so I like to start up at the top and come down, just lightly putting pressure, if no pressure at all. Okay, you're just letting it slide over the top of the texture. Just let it drift over the top, put a little pressure on it, spreads it out, okay? And it'll be perfect. Gives you a nice knockdown, okay? And you gotta constantly look at the wall. You almost go snowblind looking at all this white. You almost can't tell the difference. From one spot to the next. And then you kind of run your light in different directions, and you can see if you miss anything. Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to miss. You come in at different angles. And I start from the bottom up. And you want to keep your blade clean. You can't, as much as possible. There's a big residue on there. So I just clean it as I'm knocking it down. And just throw the mud on it. You got all this sand, all this dry sand from the drywall on the floor, so it's not going to really stick to it. You throw it down. So you start at the bottom and work your way up. See now, there's some area right here where it's really low. So I'll come in at a different angle on it and hit that. All goes flat. You have to be patient. Now there's these guys that do this every day, and they got those big rigs, and they come in here and they blast it out all that. I've never worked with a big rig. I've always done it by hand, and I've never had any complaints. Never had any complaints, folks. That's why I call myself a master blaster. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna get down and look at it. Looking beautiful. I like it. The homeowner likes it. And you'll like it too. It's a way to upgrade your home. You want to do it yourself, give yourself a new look.